Hello everyone and welcome once again to QuipScope.
QuipScope.
I nearly said it's the game where we play new videos. That would have been wrong.
The game where we show and tell.
And tell.
I suppose that's true, isn't it, in a way?
Yeah, but it's not. It's a video. It's not a game.
Oh, that's
it's not
true.
the game. But it's the video series where we show and tell.
Or it's the show where we game and tell.
Hello. Can we start? Hello and
welcome to
QuipScope, the video series where we show new games
and the game that we're playing.
We've got to send this to well, we don't have to actually.
No, actually, I bought this with my money, so it's fine.
Okay,
luckily, the only people who see this are the people who we want to see it.
Yeah,
we don't need to impress them.
Christmas has come very early for Ben Potter and people the world over.
Yes.
Who like a certain series called the Borderlands.
That's what it's called.
The Borderlands.
Thebodlands.
Ben, what have you been playing the past 36 hours non-stop?
Yes, so Thebodlands 3, after a 7-year hiatus, since Borderlands 2 anyway, which is, the last real one. It's been a long time, and it came out on Friday. I unfortunately was immediately...
That's the hype train just going past.
Yay. I unfortunately was immediately away over the weekend, but I had Monday off, so I played it all of Monday, and now I'm going to talk about it and what I like and what I don't like, and I think largely I'm very happy with it.
Okay,
very happy with it.
I've not looked at much about it. I've seen one tweet, just someone I follow happened to say something about something that I'll get into later. But what are your just overall impressions to begin with?
It's much better looking. It feels like they've modernized a 7-year-old game, so you can now slide along the floor and vault over stuff. And I tell you what, it in much the same way that Destiny took a lot of lessons in terms of shooting looting from Borderlands, the granddaddy. I feel like now that they've taken some lessons back of the last 7 years of the sort of iteration of that genre, if that makes any sense. Yeah. So it feels a lot more fluid. Once you get your action skills down, like your special skills that you have per class, it's just cool. You just feel cool playing it, and I don't know. I'm hesitant to even say like, oh yeah, the humor's like on point and stuff, because again, I just see the same belly aching and negativity about, who's Borderlands for? Why can't they just get comedy right? If you're going to write comedy, get comedy writers. And it's just so condescending and like crappy. And I follow some comedians on Twitter that I think are like, they're really funny and they seem to be nice people, but then they just seem really happy to crap all over Borderlands, which has always been cringy and memey in its humor. Mimi. I did not
create that meme.
There we go.
I did not upload that meme.
So I don't really understand why they were expecting Borderlands 3 to be any different, because it's never been a nuanced, subtle, comedic masterclass. It's always been explosions and references to double rainbows and it's always been that. I don't understand why they thought this would be any different.
I must admit, actually, that's the other thing I've seen. I forgot about that, but I did see some people getting annoyed that there's a Rick and Morty reference in there.
Exactly, and I think that should tell you all you need to know really about the people who are complaining about this game that's been in development for at least 5 years.
Right.
That hundreds of people have been working very hard on, and all they can see is a Rick and Morty reference and then write off the entire game.
Yeah, right.
And that's crap. That's such a shame, because this game is fantastic. And honestly, if you didn't like Borderlands 2, I don't know why you were expecting Borderlands 3 to be a huge change for the series, because it's sort of like, for me, it's the leap from Oblivion to Skyrim, in that it is quality of life improvement after quality of life improvement.
But still familiar in
Exactly,
in
but
many
it's
ways.
Still fundamentally what it is. It's an Elder Scrolls game. This is a Borderlands game. I don't know why people, it came out and then they immediately, presumably a lot of people without even playing it, are like, God, I hate that Borderlands 3 is a thing, where it's like the Rick and Morty gun can be found in the same place as the One Punch Man reference.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah, so did I.
In the same place.
And I was like, because I went into that area last night, and it was genuinely quite funny to play that and bump into, like, you have to solve this. It's in a little side area. You have to sort of press these buttons in the right order, and then suddenly this psycho comes out with one really shriveled arm and one massive arm.
Right.
And if he hits you with it, you die.
Okay.
That's a fun little Easter egg.
Yeah, I
and
like
people
that.
are like, oh, they're just squeezing in references all over. It's like, that's what Borderlands is, though.
I mean, actually, you make the Elder Scrolls comparison. You know, even a game like that, which pretty much takes itself fairly seriously, something like Skyrim. You know, even I got a lot of enjoyment out of the slightly sillier references that they hid in there. There was that notched pickaxe on top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And, you know, in Oblivion, you had the troll that had, like, just got drunk and jumped off a bridge.
Me kill self.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even a pop culture reference, but, you know, just because there's... I don't know if... I mean, it's weird with Borderlands. If anything, people should be more angry about it in something like Elder Scrolls, which, like I say, takes itself fairly seriously overall, but just hides a couple of jokes in there. But Borderlands is that.
This is what Borderlands always has been.
So why should you be annoyed that they've done that?
I have no idea. It's garnered a lot of negative. It's had just a total PR nightmare run up to launch in various regards.
Well, yeah.
But fortunately, unlike Fallout 76, this one is actually a really bloody good game.
Right.
And I've done. I feel like I needed to say like do my piece here. Say my piece in terms of in defense of, because it's not everyone. Everyone I know who's played it bloody loves it and hasn't been able to put it down, because it's a Borderlands game, and everybody who doesn't like Borderlands and is hearing about Borderlands is not liking Borderlands because they don't like Borderlands.
Yeah.
I don't really understand anyway. There just seems to be the sort of, we heard the hype train go past. There seems to be some kind of hate train as well.
Right.
It always follows around things that are not necessarily divisive, but things that not everybody can like.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm going to jump on the hate train then and just decide that I'm in camp hate. And everything I hear about it is just head in hands. Boo, this sucks.
Yeah.
Why does this exist? Who's this for? I don't understand.
Well, it's not for you then, but
Well,
just
exactly.
don't worry. Just it's fine. Just
let people not like things.
have some chamomile tea and just go and play your Fortnites if you
Go
want.
do your dabs, my man. That's the thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can dislike Randy Pitchford, and
Sure.
he's said and done some unsavory things, and I get that. But he is not Borderlands.
No.
Borderlands is the hard-working efforts of hundreds and hundreds of people over several years, and it's a fantastic game. So let's talk about why it's good.
Yeah, let's move on to that. So, it follows pretty much the same kind of structure in that there are 4 playable classes
4
to choose
at
from?
launch. They
At
usually
launch.
add more later on.
Right, but four at the moment, and then you go around looting and shooting in a it's in a non-linear sense, right? You get sort of given a bunch of different quests, and you can kind of go and sometimes you can stack them right and like do things, you know, kill several birds with one stone.
It's like a disjointed open world. And
Yeah, it's
each
sort of
area has a
open-worldy.
loading screen between it, but you can sort of go between them at whim, on a whim.
Yeah. What are you playing as?
I am doing a siren.
Yeah.
I usually play as a siren.
You do.
Although at the time of recording, I'm going to do a stream today, and I'm going to play as the secret agent man with all his gadgets.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to giving that a go as well.
Yeah.
So that's fun. She's got 3 action skills now instead of just the 1.
Okay.
So you can switch between them on the fly. Which is pretty cool. And I started with the phase lock one because that was the power that the siren had in Borderlands 2, and I like that one. And I've changed it up now to sort of an astral projection thing where she just fires loads of her fists forwards in a straight line, and just anything that's in the way gets smacked into oblivion, and I like that a lot.
Nice.
The person I've been playing with has been playing as Mose, who can summon in a bear mech.
Okay.
A bear mech, bruv.
A bear mech.
And they can jump into it and just fire loads of missiles and stuff for a certain amount of time, and they've got a perk as well, which means that anybody can jump on the back and mount a turret as well and fire on the back, which is pretty cool as well. In terms of those quality of life improvements, because this, as someone who's consistently played Borderlands over the last 10 years, even between entries,
Yeah.
there are so many things in here that they've changed that are just make life so much easier.
Right.
So when you go up to a vending machine now for ammo, you can press a button and refill all of your ammo instead of having to go through and buy each thing individually.
Okay.
You can, in the map now has depth to it. So previously the map was 2D.
Right.
And if things were on different levels, it was very difficult sometimes to tell exactly where it was. Now, not only does the minimap have a little bit of depth to it, but if you load up the map fully, you can sort of navigate around it in a 3D space and actually see what's on what floor. So it's way easier to see stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The weapons, they sound cooler.
Yeah.
You can modify them and apply skins to them and little trinkets and stuff to personalize them, which is fun. Within the same area, this is the thing I like the most, I think. Within the same area, you can actually fast travel just from your map. Rather than having to go to a fast travel machine and fast travel to predetermined locations, you can now just zip to any of these locations within a map, which is super handy.
So it's traditional fast travel now. Well, not traditional, but what we know and love.
They've just made it easier to get around, basically, which is... just makes such a huge difference.
Okay.
And of course, there's the Sanctuary 3, which is the ship that you fly around.
Of course.
And go from planet to planet.
Yes.
And it's really good. I like it a lot.
Uh-huh.
You see all the characters milling around. You can talk to them. You have your own little crew space that you can sort of customize a little bit. And each of the 4 characters has a room on the ship. So you can, so if you're only playing on your own, only one of the doors will be open, and that'll be the one that's themed appropriately to your class.
I see.
And the more people that you play with, and so on and so forth, the more doors that are open.
Doors are all open.
Yeah, it's nice.
Excellent.
And there's no loading screens in there, so you can just run around the whole thing, and it's nice.
Lovely.
It's just good. I'm taking it slow.
Right.
I'm not that far in. I'm level 19, I think, and I've been playing it a lot, but I've been smelling the roses.
That might affect the answer to my next question, which is how are you finding the story itself, the narrative?
Well, the Calypso twins are the baddies.
Okay.
And they are annoying as hell.
Okay.
Which is intentional because they're meant to be a cult. They're meant to be leaders of a cult.
Right.
And they are themed after streamers.
Okay.
So the thing
specific streamers or general?
Just streaming culture in general.
Right.
So they always say at the beginning of every live stream, which is usually propaganda, because one of them is a siren, of which there are only ever 6 in the world of Borderlands at any given time. So they're very unique and powerful beings.
Right.
She says it's God Queen Tyrene coming at you live.
Okay.
That's what she says every time. And at the end she says, make sure to like, share, and obey, I think is, and then her brother, who's also with her, does a dap.
Really?
They're detestable, but that's intentional.
Okay.
You're not meant to like them.
Yeah.
They're meant to be annoying as hell and full of themselves because they run a cult. It's a literal cult of personality. That's what it is. That's what they're doing. And they're followed by all of the bandits who now work for them. So that's billions of them. And they're basically throwing their weight behind, currently, in the story where I am, sort of corporate wars, because there's this whole thing in the world of Borderlands with the different weapons manufacturers. They're the most powerful sort of... There's no governments, there's only weapon manufacturers, basically. Yeah. And when there's a takeover or a hostile takeover, it's a literal war with people on either side fighting for or against the weapons manufacturers. And I will say, one of the things that I don't like, and I voiced it before it came out, was that they didn't bring Troy Baker back as the voice of one of the characters from Tales from the Borderlands.
Okay.
And this was also one of the PR kerfuffles where Randall Foot in His Mouth Pitchford said, when asked about it on Twitter, oh yeah, we asked him and he didn't come and do it. And then Troy Baker said, no, you didn't.
Right.
I can come right now if you'd like. And then, oh no, clearly I was told some wrong information and stuff. So they've got a guy that doesn't sound like Troy Baker and therefore doesn't sound like the right character.
And Troy Baker was game for it, apparently. But
he was.
Seemingly wasn't asked.
And they brought Chris Hardwick in, who I
Okay.
think is somewhat disgraced anyway.
Right.
And he just, honestly, he sounds like Jerry from Rick and Morty now.
Okay.
So he was always meant to be very cocky. He's a cocky character, but somehow always flies by the seat of his pants and gets by. and gets into some hairy situations and sort of bluffs his way out of them. But now he just sounds like an unsure coward all the time.
I wonder why they did that. I guess Troy Baker is probably quite expensive because he's one of the voice actors.
He is. He's one of the two voice actors.
Yeah, he is.
Everybody's played by Nolan North.
And yeah, exactly.
And Troy Baker.
Yeah.
And Laura Bailey. There's 3.
Well, yeah, but she plays the ladies.
Yeah, all of the ladies.
She plays every woman.
Every single woman is played by Laura
Bailey. And all
Bailey.
the men are played by Nolan North and Troy Baker.
Exactly. So maybe Nolan North and Troy Baker were just really busy with the rest of the Borderlands characters and they didn't have time.
True.
But it would have been... I feel like he's playing a very pivotal... I'm at sort of a point in the story, and it's not a spoiler because he's been in the trailers and stuff, so people know that he's in the game. Mm-hmm. But I'm currently in the part of the story where he is featured prominently, and it's weird every time he speaks, and I don't really like it. And his antagonist in this particular story just sounds like a budget handsome Jack. Like even like his vocal patterns and like some of the phrases he like uses kiddo and stuff and freaking a lot, which is what Handsome Jack said in almost every sentence. And I don't know if that's gonna play into anything,
right?
Because it might make sense because they're both leaders of weapons manufacturers. Because Handsome Jack was the leader of Hyperion.
Yeah.
But I don't know yet. It's a little bit of, it's weird. I'm not really sure how I feel about this point in the story.
Right, so that might turn out that it might be some deliberate story piece.
Maybe.
That he's trying to imitate him or whatever, or is somehow similar or related to him. But there's an outside chance that maybe they're just trying to sort of recreate stuff that was successful in the past in a kind of, oh, come on, guys, try and think of something new.
I hope it's not that.
Yeah.
But we'll
have to just see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another negative.
Yeah.
Before you ask me.
Well, I was about to ask you about another negative.
Okay. Performance
was what I was going to ask you about.
So I'm playing the PS4 Pro version, which
Yeah.
gives you an option when you start it up if you want to divert main battery powers captain to either the performance or graphics.
Okay.
To make it look a little bit better. Now, everything I read said performance, do performance. And in firefights, usually, absolutely fine, no problem. The menus, though, it doesn't like the menus. Sometimes I've opened menus and I've sat there for 3 seconds before it comes up. And in particular...
And you're on performance mode, you said?
Yes, I'm on performance mode on the PS4 Pro.
God.
It's either the... Most menu tabs are okay, but it's the menu that lets you look at your inventory, and in particular, the menu that lets you look at your skill tree, because there's a little sort of animated version of you to the right of the screen that sort of demonstrates whatever power it is that you're looking at the time. And I think that takes a lot of resources, maybe.
Right.
But they're really slow. It's like super slow and laggy, and that's weird, and I'm hoping that's patched.
Sounds like the kind of thing that would be, but it's just a shame that, like, I don't see how things like that get past QA testing.
No,
you think, if there was a tiny corner somewhere where there's actually no collision on the floor, if you go between these two cliffs or whatever into a little gully, whoops, you can fall through the world and no one walked over here in QA. But, everyone opened the menu.
Yeah.
Why is that not working properly?
I have no idea. Apparently, split screen is a nightmare as well at the moment. I haven't tried that.
I've heard that scoped weapons in I guess just the standard single player. Maybe if you're either not on a PS4 Pro or not on performance mode or both.
Maybe.
But I've seen tweets where people are saying, look, I'm fine. It runs fine everywhere I go and everything I do. But the moment I scope up, which is so strange.
That is weird.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though, right? Like, I suppose, in this world of video games, I'm just grateful that the game fundamentally is good.
Yeah.
And that it's what I want it to be. I'm hoping performance issues can be patched because they're not negatively impacting gameplay. But when I press the touchpad to open up my menu and I just sit there and go, oh, will my PS4 freeze?
Yeah.
No, we're okay. That's not right.
No.
That needs to be fixed. And it seems to be getting worse the further into the game I get.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's something to do, sort of, again, talking about Skyrim, your save data just gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, or if the skill tree gets more complicated as you go and you add more things to it. Your inventory has more powerful loot in it, and that's harder to... I don't know. I can't... I'm trying to make up a reason, but, that's the only logic I can come up with there for that. But on the whole, it's everything I want it to be, and I'm really looking forward to it. It seems just... They've just thought of almost everything that a Borderlands fan could want, and I keep discovering things where I'm like, oh man, that makes things way easier.
Yeah.
Like I don't even have to go into the create a vehicle menu anymore. I can just press triangle and it generates and gets me directly into the last vehicle that I created.
All right. Okay,
that's handy
cool.
as hell. You can now fast travel to a vehicle on the map as well from anywhere, which is also handy.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of time-saving stuff, and as I said earlier, if you're a Borderlands fan, you're just be ready to be very happy. And if you're not a Borderlands fan, you're probably gonna continue to not be a Borderlands fan. But if you've never played Borderlands before, why the hell not?
If you're a Rick and Morty fan,
there's a great Easter egg for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like it sounds to me like you're right in that, you know, hopefully performance issues can be patched. You know, they usually are. I guess what can't be patched, or what wouldn't have been patched, it would be if they had totally screwed up, like, you know, the story, or you know, the characters, or the map design. You know, those things can't be fixed.
It's a MOBA now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it sounds like they've at least nailed those things, which is good, because they can't really be fixed after launch, and unless you're No Man's Sky, I guess.
No, different game.
Well, we've just changed the entire game. Yeah, you know, if the worst we can say is it judders a bit, and oh dear, they didn't hire Troy Baker.
I can't believe they didn't give Troy Baker more work.
Yeah.
That guy's starving out there.
Then that's not bad going.
Yeah. I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it.
Good.
And as I said, I'm streaming it if you want to see some more gameplay, because the footage I've got here is just from the first couple of hours. So there's really not much apart from me running around a dusty area and shooting. So if you want to see it in action, then feel free to come and watch the stream or watch the VOD.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll be talking about it for a long, long time to come.
Yeah, in every what we play in for the next month.
Podcast forever. Do we have a quip of some kind?
Oh no.
Borderlands, more like more of the land, more of the Borderlands.
Borderlands, huh? Oh, we'll be talking about it for months, and we still won't get bored of lands.
Borderlands, more like memes. Am I right?
Ah, me.
Rick and Morty, more like Rick and Borderlands.
Bordy.
One Punch Man, more like Borderlands.
Yeah, One Punch Lands.
There's got to be another great one that we can do.
Oh, definitely. I don't know enough about Borderlands, unfortunately.
Hey, did you see Borderlands? Man, I can't believe it's Borderlands. Borderlands.
What? Hello? Handsome Jack, more like Borderlands.
Yes,
am I right?
There it is.
Yeah.
That's the good one.
Baff. Bam. Biff.
Bit pow. Borderlands.